frustrated people motivated to keep playing Arena. Okay, round 3. Round 3 with Martyr Sweetness. My STR const is once again out of date. Back to normality there as well. My opponent is 6-1. I think MTG bot might be glitching out a little bit there. This hand seems keepable. Good job, Matrix. No, you'll get a trophy before me. I even had a trophy-worthy deck. I had 2 trophy-worthy decks, I guess. This one's still in the running. Yeah, basically, they only have programmers who are willing to be underpaid because they love Magic. The good news is at least these people are very passionate about their work and like they like working for Magic. The downside is they only get like the scraps that are left over from other companies, because those are willing to pay real wages basically and get better, more qualified programmers. Also feel like the team is just too, like they're not only investing too little in each individual worker, but like investing too little in the team as a whole, so they are like understaffed. But who knows? I don't think I want to be trading into that, though if they have some token synergies, maybe it's actually correct to be trading into that. No, I think I'll wait and keep this effect around. Maybe the tapping down can work out in my favor in the future. And the supportings are not really a threat on offense either. Cavalry tokens already a little bit more annoying. I think now I'm willing to trade my knights for their knights, because they might have the +2/+2 for like +2/+2 counters on your team. Trading 2 Saprolings. I mean, that makes sense from my opponent because those are attacking a lot worse. Still don't think I want to spend a Shivan Fire. Maybe I shouldn't have been attacking because now they have a 2/2 vigilance against my 3/2. That's not so great for me. I just didn't want them to have like a thing that pumps the board because they seem to be pretty token heavy here. Yeah, they're like all their deck is tokens so far. Get this off of the board before it goes insane, I think. Black Source would be much appreciated here. So it was kind of a cautious play in trying to dodge AoE buffs, but also it made my board position a little bit worse not having a knight for my opponent's knight. If I just sit there, then like my knight holds off their knights, and afterwards I have a 3/2 against their Saprolings. Gilded Lotus, okay, that can do some scary things, especially with kicker cards. Fungal Plots, that also seems pretty good. Yep, second Swamp and Yozobest both seem like something I'm interested in. I'm at 7 mana already. That's still pretty far away. But okay. I think I'm willing to trade 5 for 2. Yeah, sure. Probably just casting this Yozobest for the 4/5 body and tapping down my opponent's knight. If that makes a profitable attack with this as well, then my opponent ends up at a pretty low life total quickly. Okay, double strike. Then I guess it's more difficult for my trapper to have a profitable attack into that double striker. Even if I tap the double striker down, their vigilance knight still holds it off. Okay, you got a Saproling. You got it. 2 super links. I guess I'm very close to just getting there on the use of Vest Overload again. Well, it's 8 mana right now. I need 10. Yeah, that's what my friend running a store also said. But yeah, lower stress levels can be nice. If I get my opponent to trade for this Lingering Phantom, I'm very willing to run out the Yosevas. But if they just take it and then attack me back, it's not that great for me. Yeah, I think I'm willing to sit here for a little bit longer and then just try to block Lingering Phantom on their Quende, and if those trade I can recur it. Don't feel like I'm in such a hurry with this hand. Though if they do end up with a way of pumping their board, I'm in a pretty bad spot. That seems like a strange timing to use that. Pretty much never correct to do that instead of on your main phase. Because you can first give yourself a look at your draw step, and then if you need an extra card in your main phase, you can still do it. Because there's no mana payment connected to it. Is that bad for me? I mean, I assume it's bad for me. Put target non-land permanent into its owner's library third from the top. Yeah. That seems pretty bad for me. Draw a card and untap. I mean, that's also pretty bad for me, but slightly less so, I think. Because I still have this Phantom on the board that can contest their Teferi. And sure. So if I like exile this, they have to jump block, and the Teferi still goes to 2. That seems alright with me. Not that great to be facing down a Planeswalker Knight of Grace. Well, that makes it a lot worse, because now they have a kind of a profitable blocker here that I can't target. Guess it just comes down to me finding the 2 extra lands to make this into a blowout. Okay, that means I can tap something down and exile something. It's a pretty decent deal. Or I tap down 2 things, I guess, and build a board really quickly. Keep this in hand. Then I am giving up on this forever, but I do a better job of contesting the Teferi. 3 and also giving up on triggers of this. But yeah, contesting the Teferi here seems important. I'm just not certain which of these 2 I want to do. Because I can either exile this and tap this down, attack with both on Teferi, or I tap both of them down and have a bigger board of my own, which is better in the next few turns. Yeah, I guess I just have to do that. I build a much bigger board, and like being too greedy with this is going to cost me the game against Teferi as well. So either they lose their Teferi and do this trade, which is reasonable for my opponent, or they jump block here. And then I have a huge board advantage. But this gets to stick around and plus again to 3. I think that's alright with me. They get 1 extra card out of the deal, but they already lost like a card by not killing this. What is that? Helm. Helm is pretty strong when they have this much mana available already. Yeah, and it's difficult for me to get the 2 adventurous impulses. Sure, okay, they only hit a land, that's pretty nice for me. But yeah, them pumping out a bunch of Knights of Grace here is going to be a problem. guess I do get the Teferi off of the board now. No, they can double strike. Damn. Yeah, I pretty much have to do this now. Can attack with these two on it, then they kill my Yosubes with the double block. 2 first strikers, pretty unfortunate. If I attack with these two, they can just like single block each of them. Yeah, I think I have to throw my Yosubes away to get the Teferi off of the board, but this helm is going to be very difficult to beat. Need to draw like one more legendary so that I can trade it away and get more value out of this in the long run. Wait, what? That did not seem like a good block from my opponent, I think. I mean, no. I don't like that block at all. I mean, their board position is still fine with them getting an extra Knight of Grace every turn, but seems kind of strange to not get this off of the board for free with the double block. Yeah, that's also not good for me, because they can re-equip. Man, that's terrible for me. This helm is such a pain. Not attacking with that? It seems strange that they wouldn't be attacking. God damn it. I think I'm pretty dead. I don't even have the double red available to fight with fire their board away. Can cast this, tap one thing down. No, that doesn't really do much. I guess this one can be attacking. Then they just get like 3 of these lifelink Ephras, which are pretty sick. Okay. I don't think that's that terrible for me because it comes back eventually. Still need like my own Lyra or something. Not much to ask, right? Just the Lyra. How I wish I had this back in my hand though. I mean, I think I needed it at the time, otherwise my opponent would still have a Teferi on their board, which would have not been very beatable. But yeah, 4/4 lifelink every turn, also not the best engine to have to deal with. Is this at least non-token creature? Create a token that's a copy of a equipped creature. So even if even if they only have tokens left on the board, it works for them. That's pretty sick. Because usually these types of effects are worded in that like it needs to be a non-token creature. They can swap here and then go to like 40. I'm not sure if I was supposed to do that. I do need another legend now to trigger this, but at least once I do trigger it, I get 2 legends back from the graveyard. Also, if I kill this now, yeah, I think I needed to do that, because now if I had killed the Ephra, I was in a decent spot, and also I'm still in a decent spot. Yeah, like I can top deck a single removal spell there, and then my opponent has to revert back to copying Knights of Grace, which is a lot more beatable. Still difficult to deal with, but more beatable. My Lyra does a good job of holding these Ephras off though. I guess if they attack with both, I would have had to block both though, because they can make them into 29 powers. So I can get Yosuves and Danitha back at the same time. Seems better to run this out first. Then if they attack with all three, I need to block all three. But then if I cast this, I get this back to my hand as well. Kind of sick that we're still in this game somehow after my opponent made like their 6th Evra now. Speaks to the power level of my deck that they played like Teferi on curve and made 6 Evras. And I'm keeping up. But yeah, this seems like more of a matchup where I want to be kicking this whenever possible. Next turn they're threatening lethal with these 4 of them attacking. Wow. Can I survive if I double strike them down to, yeah, double strike them down to 19 and then I also go to 30? I think I can actually attack. It's a risky attack, but then like if I trade this off and then get 3 legendaries back from the graveyard, that seems alright with me as well. Yeah, just need to make sure that like an unblocked Evra doesn't one-shot kill me. What the hell is this game? Holy moly. Okay, I don't think that changes much yet. Yeah, they can make the attack with all 4 of them now, but they only deal 19 to me and go to 38 life, I guess, but lose a bunch of these tokens again. Seems alright with me. Yeah, should be alright. Right, and not that was not the block that I wanted. So they deal. Why is it so laggy? Holy moly! Come on, Modo. Oh god damn it! Pre-release just way too much for these servers. I think my stream is yeah, I still have 0 dropped frames, so my internet is not the issue here. Wait. Oh, this never mind. I'm just reading the card explains the card. This also has flying, so I was like making illegal blocks. Let's see. So do I have to jump block here? I take these 6 down to 24, so they can deal 23 if I leave these unblocked, but I can just jump block here. Then they swap here and deal 25 to me. But next turn I get all of my legends back. Thought that didn't have flying, but it's a lot better than I thought even. Pretty good card. I go to 1 if I don't jump block there, but I have the Trapper still on the board. How much does the Trapper actually help me in the long run though? I guess I have double blocks with it next turn. They make this 19 power, and then 19, 23, 26, 29, so I go to 1. These trade. My opponent goes to an insane amount of life. I get my Yuzu back, my Danitha back, and this one back. Then I hit them for another 10, I assume. Because I need to still be attacking, maybe? I don't know. And this is threatening in the air. Damn it. I think I'll keep it around. Going to 1 seems alright, and I can still make the trade next turn. Wait, I should probably not have blocked this though, that was dumb. Because even though this has the helm attached, my opponent has enough mana to always reattach the helm somewhere else. And I should have traded for a token instead of the original. Because the original can be eaten up with the fungal plots. No idea why my opponent is not re-equipping though, but yeah, that was unnecessary to give them the chance to get an extra creature off of that. Okay. I think I'm still losing pretty badly here, but what a game. The fact that I'm still fighting is still amazing. So I can actually like double strike this down, block this. They have one more token that I have to deal with that I can jump. But having this back on defense, it does actually seem a little bit useful, though. Like if I'm not attacking, I'm also in a pretty terrible spot in the long run. So if I do this, my opponent doesn't really have any attacks for a turn, but they get another Ephra. And then how am I making progress? I get to cast these. Yeah, I think I want to be attacking. No, I guess they gain 35 that way. I guess they always gain 35. Wait, can I even... No, I need to block all 3 of the Evras. So like double, yeah, I think I need to keep this back, even though I hate my position there. Otherwise they just attack me with 3 Evras again, and one of them is going to end up being 35 power. Wait, what? That is not good for my opponent, I think. I mean, they can always switch back and forth, so it's not actually a downside. But I think it's not good. Wait, did you make copies of this? The copies are 4/4, right? I think so. There shouldn't be a copyable value, so I think the switch doesn't actually help them much. It just gives them less flexibility. They can always make the switch back, and then it is not a big downside. But now if they make like another creature, they don't have a life total to switch with, so they would need to have first turn this into a 4/4 again to get themselves 35 life. What the hell is this? Oh, that second Knight of Grace is pretty strong, but I don't think this really works for my opponent. I think against double strike lifelink. Yeah, they don't have great attacks here, though making more flyers is actually a decent idea in the long run for them. Well, not really, right? Because I have double strike flying attacking them. So they need to jump block with one of these flyers, otherwise they just die. Well, I guess they can switch back to go back up to 35 life. Interesting. Don't think I have any favorable attacks still, though this attacking as a 5. Yeah, maybe I do. Not a great spot to be sitting around anyway, so... Wait, what? Oh, they're just making this. Sure. Yeah, then they can take the hit. I was aware of that, of course, but like, I thought they also wanted to do this. Still haven't done that. Maybe they overlooked that fact. Or they're gonna do it this turn. Yeah, they still haven't made us a proling. Yeah, that doesn't do anything for a turn, then doesn't do anything for another turn, and then they get a +1/+1 counter on each creature. Trample, Vigilance, Indestructible. Okay, so in 2 turns it wrecks me, because their entire board can then attack into mine, and their Evras also get... I think they should resume production of Evras, because having like 4 Evras, all of which can trample over, is insanely strong. I guess now they have like triple blocks for my Lyra. Like all these refs can block on my Lyra, and I can only first strike one of them down, so the other two take out Lyra. So I no longer have good attacks there either. And first strike on the ground also holds off my ground attackers. Yeah, I think I'm pretty screwed. Not really sure what I'm supposed to do. Like, fight with fire would help me solve the board position, but I don't have double red available. My second mountain is actually in the graveyard, so I'll never be able to fight with fire. They didn't block. I think it was pretty easy double block there for my opponent, but who knows. Yeah, what's the other legendaries that I can draw into? The vampire guy that shoots damage and then grows. That doesn't really help me because I don't have 2 activations a turn open. Yeah, I think I'm just getting wrecked next turn. Wow. Their deck is also sick. Holy moly. Unreal. Just 1, 2, I mean, this doesn't really count, but 1, 2, 3, 4 broken rares that they've played already, and a bunch of strong uncommons. I think I still just die to the trample. Like, they're indestructible trampling, so my opponent can trample over for like 20 damage or something somewhere. Maybe I can survive. Good job. I'm getting wrecked here, though this is still game 1 somehow. What the hell is this game, though? Yeah, I'll look at your deck in a second. Just... what the hell? God damn it, I'm muted, you're right. I was gonna say this looks pretty good on offense until my opponent cast a knight, and then they cast a knight, and I was complaining. Didn't really miss a lot, but yeah, I apologize. Yeah. I guess I missed the sideboarding discussion. I was just considering whether I should go even more dirtily, and I was heavily complaining about the fact that all of my aggressive leaning creatures have 2 toughness, so it's very difficult for me to attack through my opponent's deck that has 2 Knight of Grace. 2 power first strike actually seems insane in this format, because there's so many 3/2s and 2/2s. I don't really value the 2/2s all that highly, but there's many 3/2s that actually are pretty playable. So like these knights seem insane. Probably still just playing my own knight. And yeah, it's very difficult for my deck to come up with a proactive plan that beats my opponent down when my opponent does draw a knight. So like trading my first striker for theirs was already pretty close to the best thing that I could be doing. My opponent's deck does look very, very strong. Well, that gives me some late game potential of my own. Am I willing to trade for this with my Mesa Unicorn? Yeah, I guess so. They'd have some ways of utilizing smaller creatures. With the Song of Freyulis, their angel that puts +1/+1 counters, all that stuff. I don't really have a way of utilizing my Unicorn. For anything more than it just being a 2/2 first strike. 2/2 lifelink, I mean. First strike would be nice. I think I'm willing to grab the mount now that I have Fight with Fire already in my hand. There's only 1 triple black card in my entire... Wait, actually, yeah, it's possible I should have gotten the plains. Because there's quite a few double white cards in my deck though. We'll see. This should be pretty strong though. Especially if my opponent's missing land drops here and has to loot to find the extra lands. I like that a lot better than them having... Oh, god damn it. Probably want to hold this for the helm instead of destroying the Urza's Tome though. Not sure. Yeah, I'll let them keep the tome. And killing their creatures and killing their artifacts that are more impactful could both be better. They have a Gilded Lotus which is splashing their blue cards, so maybe if they run out Gilded Lotus and I destroy it, that could cut them off of Teferi for a while. And also they do have a lot of angels and all that I need to kill. So having a 5 damage burn spell around is still good for me. God damn it. Well, not getting the second plains is kind of backfiring on me for the moment. I do have a ton more plains than mountains in my deck, of course, and being able to overload this Fight with Fire eventually is still going to be great for me. Okay, there's the Gilded Lotus. Now I really need to decide whether I want to blow that up or just hope that my opponent runs out of things to be casting eventually. They can even float mana and then draw a card off of the tome if I destroy this. It's also not great for me. I think I just bargain instead. Look for my second white source, and yeah, second bargain is amazing. I mean, still pretty clunky, but does allow me to keep building up to Fight with Fire mana. My opponent's actually at a very low life total already as well. If I just hit them with Serra Angel once to put them to 10 and then I deal them 10 with this Fight with Fire, that's also pretty absurd. Yeah, that seems like a better way to start. Not sure how they get that off of the board all that easily. Guess there's like exile a creature for 5 mana instant. But we saw almost our opponent's entire deck, and they didn't have that yet. They can Teferi it, I guess. Oh, they do have Blessed Light, okay. My opponent's deck is just sick. Holy moly. Though the fact that they keep looting away spells when the last game almost came down to decking is pretty great for me as well. Now they have a lot less threat density to work with in their deck overall. Yeah, I think I'll run this out now rather than bargain. Could like bargain and then Death Bloom tell it, but I think having the threat of putting my opponent to 10 so that I can close out the game with Fight with Fire seems good. I want to start threatening this attack as quickly as possible. Though it plays into the Teferi a little bit if they can put this away into my library. Sure. God damn it, that's a good play by my opponent that they could flash this in and then make sure they get at least 1 token out of the deal. I can destroy the helm now. That's pretty annoying. Now they have 2 flyers back on defense. This Fight with Fire is still very threatening. This is also pretty threatening, but okay, let's get the helm out of here. Don't appreciate that at all. Man, these games are so degenerate when both of us have like insanely bomb heavy decks. What the hell? What the hell? Ugh! That's just not even funny. I can get rid of it, of course, but like the rest of their board already got a counter out of the deal. That's so insane. I think I'll take it and then get rid of this, and hopefully the Serra Angel gets to connect that way. And I put them to 10 and then this wins. I think grinding through these 4/4 flyers is just going to be too difficult to do in the long run. Wait, is that their second fungal plots? What the hell? That even gains them some life to keep them. They should have probably done that pre-combat though, right? So that they get the bonus of putting a +1/+1 counter on this. Maybe they didn't want to give me that info. So I'm at 7 now. So I can Dark Bargain into an extra land so that I get to 8 and then 9 kills them. But if I miss on the land, I'm just dead on the spot. Do I have a better alternative? I can exile this and play this, but then I'm 2 turns away from Fight with Fire. Yeah, I think I do need to bargain, but like I need a land out of the top 3 cards, otherwise I just die. It sets up my ability to win a lot better though. Yeah. Do I want a Shalai or a Goblin Barrage? Definitely want the Swamp because I'm casting Settle the Score this turn. And then next turn, what is more useful on defense? Probably the Goblin Barrage is more useful because it kills one of these refs. Sure. And I can even sacrifice the Skittering Surveyor to deal 4 damage to my opponent's face. So now I'm threatening lethal with any land, though my opponent can gain some life in response with the fungal plots. But they need to have a blocker for my Serra Angel if they want to respect Fight with Fire, which I think they haven't seen yet. So it's not certain that they are going to respect it. Yeah, they're attacking with both. So if I find any land, I can just kill them. But if I take it, I'm also going to 4, so that makes it a lot more difficult to survive in the long run. If I just trade off, I get... They have creatures in the graveyard though, right? Yeah. If I trade off, I don't have a guaranteed kill though. Can like try and shoot this down and then deal 4 to them with the surveyor, putting them to 6. I still have the capability of gaining like a lot of life with this. Shit, man, this is so close. If I trade off the Serra Angel, I just get more time, but getting more time doesn't necessarily help me. Ah man, I'm under time pressure for the last game. Yeah, I think deal with this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I have 4 left over. Doesn't even help me much. Yeah, I think I'll risk it for the biscuit, but I might just lose because of it. If my opponent plays like an extra creature with the 4 mana, I'm ecstatic about it, because then they don't have the fungal plots open, and I don't... Well, I do need to top deck my land regardless, so I guess it doesn't help. Yeah, no. That only helps if I had blocked. God damn it, so now they do get to gain life. Well, I guess... Okay, so land wins me the game, come on. No! Well, I guess that's not the worst thing to be drawing. I think I need to cast it without kicker, because I need my blockers on the ground. Man, this is going to be terrible. Block, block, go to 2. I guess I do still survive, but... Well, I guess I do survive and set up the kill for next turn, so it's not completely awful. But I need to start jump blocking now. My opponent needs to not have a removal spell, otherwise they just get the lethal attack through in the air. And I still need to find the 9th land for this fight with fire to win. My board position is not entirely awful, because yeah, I get to keep this around and trade off their flyer. So this still contests their knight. They can make a bunch more supportings though. Come on, land! Oh god, okay, not surviving this for another turn. Land! Yes! There we go. Only have 4 minutes left for the last game, but that was pretty sick. This card's such a joke, holy moly. But both of us just have a bunch of completely ridiculous cards. Like, this one's pretty sick. Both of us have like 4 or 5 rares in our deck. Oh no, wait, can they? They can only go to 10, right? Gain 2 life, gain 2 life. Yeah, I think I'm fine. Unless they draw into an answer, they should probably just sack this and like see if they can draw a counterspell or something. But I think, yeah, like that's why I kept the Serra, so that they can't heal themselves above 10 here. That was kind of the point of the whole go to 4 and keep my Serra around for a turn to get the extra 4 damage in. I think I had to play it that way. It just got pretty close because I missed the land drop once. But I think I played that well, setting myself up to win. Okay, so a bunch of token generation, which is pretty difficult for my deck to deal with as well, because like my aggressive creatures still get outclassed on the ground so easily by their tokens, and then they just have the capability of flying over. I mean, Chain Whirler would be great, but my mana base can obviously not support that. Don't have any more disenchants here that I can see to get the artifacts off of the board. We already have 2 of them though. which seem very important in the matchup. They have Gilded Lotus, the Helm, the Tome, and this can also deal with the fungal plots. So it seems pretty important to have this many disenchants, and I would want to have an extra one, though I don't have access to one. This only gets an enchantment back. This does a reasonable job at holding off the tokens. This is like another more or less win condition, but it's kind of expensive. And I'm not certain what I would be cutting. I can have like my own cavalries back in the deck because they contest my opponent's tokens, but I'm so overloaded on 4-drops. And I think I like running the bargains because they allow me to assemble the mana that I need to cast my late game stuff. It's possible I should just throw out this Phantom though, because recurring that and recasting it is not going to match up well against my opponent's token theme. It does help me have some more late game, but at the same time, if it just runs into a Saproling token every turn while my opponent flies over, it's not the greatest solution to any of my problems. Maybe even the Partic Wanderer is better, with a worse ability to recover it and reuse it. Even Cabal Pearl, well, that runs into the tokens even more and into the first strikers. Just very annoying that my opponent has 2 Knights of Grace. First strikers are a huge pain for my deck to deal with when everything has 2 toughness. I just like all my 4-drops, but having this many 4-drops is not that great of a strategy overall when my opponent has better or equally good late game. Like, I would want to cut this Deathbloom Thalet and have like probably the no, it's probably slightly better than the Trapper, but like even the Deathbloom Thalet is like worse than Call the Cavalry, but I can't afford to go even higher on Markgrave. I think I'll run it back like this, but not convinced. The matchup is definitely tough, and I'm low on time, so multiple angles in which I'm in trouble. Sounds so awkward, but this is like among my best cards. I don't know. No, probably not. Probably not even among my best cards. This is very good to blow up artifact, but yeah, I think I'm all again. But I mean, maybe it's not even close. Just that my curve is already cluttered at 4, so it's usual for my hand to be mostly 4-drops and look a little bit awkward. But the mana problems that came with it made it not worth keeping, I would say. And like finding a Lyra seems a lot stronger than like finding the more like the weaker 4-drops that I had in my hand there. Okay. Double strike, so I can give this first a double strike Vigilance Lifelink, then I still just trade for both of their tokens. It's not that terrible, I think, trading for both of their tokens, so that this can start swinging in. Oh, they're not even blocking, that seems ambitious. I think that was pretty good double block for them. They can tap it for mana now, so that they play this for 0 mana, and then next turn they gain some mana that way. What the hell? I don't know why my opponent didn't double block, I mean. Think apply pressure? Nah. No. I mean, my opponent's hand is pretty garbage, that's the upside. But that's pretty bad for me that I missed on my divest. And they have a Nitro Spiral, so if I ever answer one of their broken cards with the destruction spell, they can just recover it. Shalai. Okay, so Shalai is getting exiled, then I don't have to worry about the Nitro Spiral there yet. And they're like barely on not enough mana to activate it right away. Yeah, not barely, but like they have 4 mana available after casting it still. Guess they can Nature Spiral this one now. Maybe that was not that great. I think I'm happy if they recur that one, because there's a lot of stronger cards in my opponent's deck that I don't want them to recur. And now this third mode of the Freyalise is kind of wasted. Actually, the entire Song of Freyalise was kind of wasted. They get like a little bit of damage in. Well, I guess no, it's not that wasted. +1/+1 to all of these is pretty strong for them still. Yeah. Yeah, it does make sense that they didn't want to trade, I guess, if they're growing their tokens. It's a kind of a low impact card for them, but it feels pretty amazing in their deck with all the Saproling making. Yeah, they get their first striker back. Don't really mind. Tome, that I do mind a little bit. Probably just have to cast this to keep the board under control. My opponent's out of cards, but they can start looting with the Tome. They don't currently have anything in the graveyard that they could exile to make it into a card draw, so that's still alright with me. Just have to get to Kazarov mana and start flying over. Or draw like a Lyra with double strike to hit them for 10 a turn. Yeah, more tokens is fine. I have the board kind of under control on defense. Sure, that's not the worst draw. Lyra seems good. Serra Angel or Swamp? Probably just Serra Angel, because then I have two good things to be doing with my next few turns. And if I run out of good things to be doing with my turns, then it means I found the land for Kazarov. No reason to have the land right away when the cards that I can be casting instead are just better than Kazarov, or like equally as good. Wait, I have 6. No, 6 I can't do that. Damn. I thought I could fit this into your turn, but I can't quite do that. This double striking them for 10 should be great though, and should help me win this in time. Wow, this Loot Tome has done a sick job for them though. Has looted 4 lands away. Come on, double striking Lyra, get there, just one more attack. The Serra Angel down, which is also a 2-turn clock, so my opponent can't just Teferi me or something to get rid of the Lyra. Then I can attack the Teferi off of the board, or maybe attack my opponent down to 4. Probably getting the Teferi off of the board is better because they have life gain available here. 5 lands. Okay, they also have this combination of double strike and first strike. Double striking. Can trade, but they get the 4 life out of the deal. Can trade any of my other creatures for it as well. Like here or something. No, this seems slightly better. Also gives them less life. Wait. No, that was fine. They still end up dead on board. Should have not done that. Should have just blocked with this, because I lost out on the double strike on Lyra, of course. That was completely terrible, just under time pressure. Okay, but yeah, this ends up dealing... Yeah, if I block here, they gain 6 life, and I have double strike here, so that ends up being lethal. And if I block with my double strike giving guy, then I have 10 in the air here, and that also ends up being lethal. Pretty sick match, holy moly. My opponent's deck was super sick, and I think pretty well positioned again.